Hello everyone, welcome back to my Victorian Sims challenge. I know it's probably been about 2 months, but I thought we would dive right back in with Archibald and Evelyn Lawson. They were newly married last time we were hanging out with the Jungs, and so I built them this really nice house. I mean, they had a lot of money. So Archibald had, I think, about 40,000 simoleons for his inheritance, and Evelyn had 30. So this was a pretty equal match. Very eligible, very good, and there's a lot of room to grow with this house. So we didn't completely finish decorating it. As you can see, there are a couple empty rooms, but I wanted space to grow. You know, they're gonna have kids and they'll be getting some more money. I mean, Archibald went to university, and so he'll be able to rake in quite a lot of money. So I figured we could go a little bit extravagant in our decor and just work our way up in the rooms that aren't decorated yet. There actually is room for a servant's quarter, and we did go ahead and build a nursery because these two cannot keep their hands off of each other at all. So I'm planning for that now, but I'm really happy with it. I built it off of a house I found online, and I think it's really cute. I tested out some new custom content that I haven't really played with very much before, so I was pretty excited to do that. So really we just have 2 bedrooms. That was the master right there, and this really feminine room, and these two, of course, slow dancing in it. Evelyn and Archie, they have so much chemistry. I was originally a little bit hesitant about getting them together just because Evelyn is a little bit older than him, but it worked out really well. So back at the main Jung household, you can see that the house is maybe, I don't know, I feel like they're starting to outgrow the structure of this house a bit. I mean, they're proper middle class now. I feel like the kitchen shouldn't be in the same space as the dining room, but also, as soon as we open up the house, lo and behold, everyone is sick with the flu. It's looking pretty dire here, so I'm gonna hold off a little bit on the redecorating and try and get everyone healthy from the flu. I mean, we don't want any more tragic flu deaths. I'm still kind of reeling from Ernest, and all of the old people in the house are really struggling, and that scares me. I don't want to lose Lydia and Peter before it's their time. However, it is Seymour's time to age up into a child, so I'm really excited about that. He's a really cute toddler, so I can't wait to see what he looks like as a child. I think I'm gonna keep his hair though, because there's just something about that hair that I think looks so good on Seymour. And here he is. This is actually an outfit that I converted 4:2. It's on my Tumblr. I'll link it down below if you want it. Free as always, because it's a conversion and I didn't really make it. They also have a second son. This is little Dorian here. I love the name Dorian, so I'm kind of excited. And I did end up redecorating and rebuilding, so you can see they kind of have an entrance hallway now. And I moved the living room into the back master bedroom and put the dining room in the living room. So we kind of rearranged things downstairs mostly. And we no longer have that one extra room where Fay used to live and Wenling used to live. There's a lot of changes happening here. We also have John Oliver. Yeah, I didn't realize I did that with his name when I named him, but this is Septimus and Alice's son, and he's actually pretty good friends with Seymour, which makes sense. They're both kind of properly middle class, so they're actually quite well-suited friends. And then time flies so quickly, and it is little Dorian's birthday as well. I'm excited for these two to be kids together. I'm pretty sure they'll overlap as children because Dorian's not that much younger than Seymour, because I'm pretty sure that Ida here got pregnant from an autonomous woohoo very soon after Seymour was born. I'm struggling a little bit. Dorian's nose at this stage just looks a little odd. I don't know what it's going to look like. I really don't. It doesn't look like a conventional Jung nose, so it must be from Ida, but I don't know. Peter and Lydia are still very, very much in love. They're enjoying their golden years, and I like to think that Peter has calmed down a bit, and then he goes and walks in on his son and daughter-in-law and just doesn't leave. I have to physically move him because I couldn't get him to leave. So that's awkward, and I'm also praying at this point that they don't get pregnant because I'm just like, the neighborhood is exploding. It's exploding, and I haven't been good at my mortality rates. And when I say I haven't been good, I mean I kind of haven't been doing them recently. There's just enough tragedy in the world right now that I don't want to necessarily needlessly kill my Sims. You know, you get it, right? They're very much enjoying their new parlor, their new living room. And I actually really love the look of their dining room as well. You can see that they're just having a lot of little family moments here. They're eating breakfast together. Peter's reading the newspaper. It's also wholesome, and it's really, really refreshing to open up the Jung household and actually have like wholesome family things. Like their house is doing well. They're steadily elevating themselves in social status. I mean, we haven't had a proper scandal in the Jung household since, what, Jonah? I mean, they're actually, like, they're doing pretty well. We have Wenling come over. Wen comes and hangs out quite a lot with them and immediately goes over to start dancing. I mean, she's very at home here. She grew up most of her childhood here. And so she's just like, they consider her a fun aunt. You know, she comes over, she helps out a little bit when they're practicing piano, when they're skilling and studying. So she and Willard are actually pretty good friends. They did kind of grow up together, basically. And so Willard's really excited to see his cousin here, and they can chat and hang out and catch up. Wen is being a little bit sly about her love life. As we know, she's kind of got a little romance going on with the maid over at the king's house, and she is not talking about that to her family yet. She's really only told John King about that. So we actually have a little celebration going on. So we invite over some friends. Both of the Olivers, Septimus and Alice, come over. It's really nice to see them. Like, I almost felt bad for marrying Septimus to Alice because I love Alice and I didn't want her to be a rebound from Daisy, but they actually go together really, really well. Ida is trying to be friends with everyone. I mean, Ida grew up as an Elmstone, so she is pretty good socially, and I feel like she would raise her kids to also be pretty good socially as well. I mean, I don't know, they're boys, so it's kind of a different dynamic in this era, but I like to think she'd be doing a pretty good job. And Septimus is actually like an adorable father. Like, he's out playing with all of the Jung kids, not even his own son, John, and they're just all, they're all being really, really sweet together. These two, for most of the party, stayed in the parlor. So then I happened to look at Ida's life bar and realized that it's showing she's an adult. Now, Ida is not yet an adult. She's a couple days away from being an adult. And for those of you who play with the Intinimator mod, you know that means that she is pregnant. The autonomous woohoo is really kicking my butt here. I mean, we've had so many accidental pregnancies from that, and part of me likes the chaos, but part of me is just like, so I do decide to send everyone over to church. It's Sunday. We haven't actually been over to St. Philip's Parish in a little while, so I thought it was time to check in, you know, visit some family that have been deceased, and just like have a good old-fashioned sermon. And so Lydia's excited to be here, except we have a bit of a cockroach problem happening that I need to deal with. I don't quite know how to fix that at the moment. I think I have to come in probably as the owner of the lot, but I don't know, for some reason that's not working. It's a whole thing. So we actually have a sister from a local convent. She is preaching the sermon today instead of our parson because we need to get a new parson. Yeah, it's time to put our old parson to rest. He's been surviving in New Whitby for like 5 generations just because I haven't wanted to play his household because it's just him and his wife and all their kids have moved out and it's boring. But we've got the Averys, the Olivers, we've got a couple, we've got the Kings. Yeah, there's another Avery. I mean, we've got a lot of people here and a surprising amount of kids. However, I forget that Ida is pregnant and I need to take a little more care to focus on her needs, and so she wets herself and that is very unfortunate. Yeah, so at this point her hygiene is pretty much ruined, so it's a great time. We need to leave soon. But before we leave, Fay actually is here and runs into Cedric. Now, some of you might remember that she and Cedric had a little bit of a fling, just a little bit of unrequited love going on there when she was a teenager and he was painting and stuff. I mean, he's probably pretty close to his elderhood at this point. He probably should have already been an elder, but his lot is currently broken and I can't access it. But they haven't seen each other in a long time, and it's really nice for them to catch up. You know, they have so much natural chemistry. Fay is really smart and Cedric is really clever. I mean, he's pretty progressive. He's part of the women's suffrage club that's sort of going on and everything. So he is pretty forward, but he's just been, you know, focusing on his career and not really interested in marriage. Maybe that'll change a little bit soon though. So yeah, we have a ton of people at the church, and Charles and Annalise are of course making out in front of the church, which is just what they do. They're the worst, but they're happy together, so I can't really say anything there. We actually have Brooke here as well. I haven't seen Brooke in a little while, so it's nice to see her hanging out with people, being social. Of course, Molly doesn't really come out into society anymore, so we don't really see her mother. And the kids are all really hanging out. I mean, Lydia is such a good grandma. I mean, I love Lydia in her old age. I think she's mellowed out so much. She had very like Anne Shirley vibes as a kid, but she's really calmed down, and it's lovely to see. These two are taking it slow. I mean, Ida's pregnant, so they kind of have to relax a little bit. They have a toddler in the house and a child, so she's doing her best to take care of little Dorian, but thankfully Lydia is really doing most of the hard work. However, not too hard because she still has plenty of time to have a lot of fun in her old age. I mean, Lydia is really thriving. So I chose this outfit for Ida because her other one didn't have a pregnancy morph, and I realized this one also doesn't have a pregnancy morph. So I may have to go in and edit. I didn't convert that dress, but I'm tempted to go in and make a pregnancy morph because I know how to do that now. Thank you, Simberry. Thank you, Cupcakey. Seymour is actually pretty good at homework. He's got a decent amount of logic skills just from when he was a baby, so he actually flies through that. He wants to get his homework done early enough because we have another party, because we've got another birthday going on. So it's, you know, it's kind of the classic crew. We've got Aldous, who we actually don't see very often just because Peter lost Aldis's entire inheritance, and so he now lives kind of in a hovel with his wife and child, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So it's Dorian's birthday. Willard has the honor of helping him age up. Willard has been a really great father. I think he learned a lot from Peter's mistakes when he was a child, because Peter was not great. I mean, he's calmed down in his old age, but he hasn't really made up for the fact that he was kind of awful and emotionally unavailable to Willard and Evelyn. So that's a bit complicated, but thankfully Dorian and Seymour aren't exactly growing up in that kind of environment. You know, they're happy, they're surrounded by family where there's no drama. I mean, those early Jung days of drama are really behind us with Mary and Jonah, and Peter's almost behind us too, if we're being honest. So he ages up, he looks adorable, and look who else stops by, it's Birdie. Birdie, I haven't played his rotation yet, and I know he's gonna he's probably gonna die in that rotation, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I love Birdie. I love Birdie so much. But here's Evelyn. She's looking very, very posh compared to the rest of the Jungs, just because she, you know, married a Lawson and she has been swung up into basically the upper class. I mean, Evelyn as a Jung really married above her station, and I am excited to see that line of Jungs really flourish. I'm hoping that nothing dramatic or traumatic happens to them, but you never know. We'll have to see. Aldous is happy despite the circumstances, but Wen, of course, decides to stay and have soup because some more people got sick. I think it's the parties that's getting everyone sick. I really need to crack open a genie's lamp and cure all the illnesses again. I do that every so often just because it gets pretty bad in New Whitby since we've got, what, 30 to 50 households? I don't even know. So the boys get new beds and they now share a room together in the upstairs, and it's really sweet. I think they're pretty good roommates. And also that nightshirt, I converted that too. Peter, although I think he feels like it's a little bit of a lost cause with his own son, has been taking more time and putting in more effort with his grandkids. He really doesn't want Seymour and Dorian to remember him negatively. So Ida, while during the day, goes into labor. Lydia kind of freaks out and runs away, which I wasn't expecting, and instead Peter runs in. I don't know, I was expecting Lydia to really be like, all right, let's get the water, let's do this. So Ida has a little baby, and I feel like all their kids are going to be really cute as teenagers. I mean, I know Seymour will. I'm not sure about Dorian. He got kind of a weird skin. But so Rowena Ann, she is a girl and she's got little freckles and blue eyes. I think she's gonna be so cute. I don't totally know where the freckles come from because Willard and Ida are both pretty smooth complected, but I love the freckled skins, so I really, really don't mind. Now, a couple days late, because of the pregnancy and everything, it is time for Ida to age up into an adult. So she has finally joined the adulthood. It feels like she's been a teen forever, but that's because she was pregnant for pretty much all of her teenhood. She's also a little distraught at the fact that she never got to attend finishing school or university. I don't think Ida really necessarily wanted to be a housewife, although she's been trained for that her whole life. She's a good mother, but she always wanted to do a little bit more. So hopefully as an adult she'll be able to kind of explore that a bit, although she's making it really hard by autonomously woohooing with Willard every chance she gets. Every chance. Like, you just popped out a baby. You're supposed to wait a few months, you know? She doesn't get it. Little Arabetta, this is Thompson Grover Jung's son with Felicia, or daughter with Felicia, and she's here. Lydia actually decided to write a book in her old age. You know, she's been a little bit bored during the day because Ida's pretty good with the kids. Now that she's not pregnant, she can take a little bit more time to focus on them and care for them. So Lydia hasn't had to do as much. So she wrote a whole novel and it sold pretty well too. Unfortunately, it is also Peter's time to go. I would like to say that he will be missed, but Peter wasn't the best. He wasn't the best to his family. I mean, he really screwed over his younger brother. Is Aldous his brother or his nephew? I don't remember. But he leaves a ton of money. He leaves $20,000 to Lydia. So we are going to take a little bit of a trip to downtown New Whitby, and we're gonna hang out with Fay. I thought it might be fun to do a little Fay mini episode thrown in there because there's not a whole lot going on with the main Jung household right now. It's really just Ida popping out baby after baby. But after Cedric saw Fay at the party the other night, he decides that maybe he should check in on her, see how she's doing, and maybe propose a little something. So Cedric has become the most renowned painter in all of New Whitby. He's doing really great with his career. However, he's starting to feel a little bit like there's something missing in his life. He's been living in that small apartment with the piano taking up all of his upstairs for a long, long time, and he's really been thinking about marriage a lot. And thinking about Peter, especially knowing that Peter just passed away. So he actually comes over to Faye's house and essentially, confesses that he was not ready for marriage for most of his adulthood, but he is finally ready to settle down, and there was always only one person he wanted to do that with. And Faye has been waiting for him all this time. She's about halfway through her adult life now. You'll have to excuse the life bar from Cedric. He's also halfway through, but pretend you didn't see that. So Archie is actually over here kind of like making sure that Cedric doesn't pull anything funny. And he's like, "Are you okay, Faye? Are we good?" And Faye's like, "No, we're great. Please leave." So he goes into the other room, nearby but within earshot. And Cedric actually pretty much immediately proposes to Faye. He said that they've waited long enough, and he's grateful that she's waited all this time for him. So Cedric tells Archie what happened and thinks like, "All right, we're family now." And Archie is like, "You are an artist. No, I'm a Lawson. Go away." So at this point, they're not really interested in having a big fancy wedding. They don't even really want family involved. I mean, Faye had a pretty complicated relationship with her family growing up with Peter as a father. And so they're not really interested in doing the whole big family thing. So they actually go to St. Anthony's Parish, where no one they know is going to find them. And they tie the knot right there with a couple witnesses. So a couple of friends of Faye's come by and a few random churchgoers, and that's pretty much it. But they're deliriously happy about it, and Cedric moves in with 20,000 simoleons. Now, because he's able to do this, we are able to expand the house significantly. So this house, this lot, doubles as a school, a Chinese school for all of the Jungs and Jung relateds, and the house. So we're able to do an upstairs as an extension to the house, which completely, I think, changes everything. I mean, the house used to be one room essentially before this. So we're going to kind of take a little bit of time to go through Fay and Cedric's life together. So at this point, the Chinese school is still pretty small. It's got 5 pupils. You'll have to ignore the continuity error that I let Dorian and Seymour join the school this early. It should have been a lot later, but I just figured, you know what, they're here, why not? They're ready, let's just go. And Cedric sometimes pops in and just kind of watches his new wife in amazement. He's really, really impressed by her intellect, and he's always really valued intellect in a woman, so it's just really wonderful for him. We also have 2 of the Bao kids here. I think this is Min and Tao, and they should probably be teenagers at this point, so I'm going to their house next and going to age them up and everything. I got a little bit behind on some of the Jung households, you know? Before long, Faye actually ends up giving birth to her first child, and this is really exciting. I was questioning how easily they were going to conceive, just because Faye is a little over halfway through her adulthood. I mean, sometimes I think the mod I have actually kind of decreases fertility as they get older, so it gets a little bit harder, but they got pregnant first try, which I just love for them. I really do. Like, Faye deserves this happiness. She's earned it. She's worked so hard. She's been so dedicated. So we're going to have a little girl. Her name is Madeline. And as you can see, Cedric is really, really excited to have a daughter. And before I can do anything, they're woohooing again. I didn't ask for this. And not only are they woohooing again, but she's pregnant, and just hours later, loses the baby. I mean, I am just heartbroken for Faye. I mean, she knew this was a risk being a little bit older, and then they autonomously woohoo again. Like that. And she gets pregnant again. One try, 3 times in a row. I don't even know how that happens. But Madeline ages up into a toddler, but before I can even show you what she looks like, Fay goes into labor again, except it's not labor, it's a miscarriage. So that is 2 miscarriages in a row. Fay is starting to feel like maybe it's just not in the cards. You can see she's a little bit hesitant to try again, but they do. And a 4th time, they get pregnant on 1 try. Don't know how that's possible because she is well 3/4 into adulthood, maybe more, honestly. Like, she might have like 5 days left as an adult. But Madeline ages up into a child. She is a great kid. Madeline, I love. Oh my goodness, she does a ton of chores around the house. She's good at school. And her best friend is actually Dorian, which kind of surprised me because they do have a bit of a social class divide. The main Jungs are doing a lot better financially than her family. But finally, Fay gives birth to a healthy baby, but not 1 healthy baby, 2. That's right. She has twins. One is a boy named Sydney and a girl named Cornelia. And I am so happy for Fay. I mean, I did not think that twins were in her cards. I thought we were just gonna have 1 baby and that was gonna be it because we were pretty close to elderhood. But she has 2 babies, and you know, Lydia was here taking care of them so that she could teach the kids in school still, because if she doesn't teach, no one's going to. No one else is there to teach that education. Felicia Jung also stops by to check in on her daughter Arabetta, which is really nice. So this family, intelligence is really important to all of them, and so they oftentimes do family skilling sessions. Cedric works on his piano playing while the girls do a little bit of reading. And Cedric is only a couple days older than her, maybe 4 or 5, and so he ages up first. He looks like such a dignified little old man. I love Cedric. I mean, he's very pretty. He and Fay both are actually missing their eyes, so I need to go in and fix that and in some PE, but it's taking me a while. Madeline got them too, but here's Sydney. He's the most interesting looking toddler I've ever seen. I kind of love it. I think he's going to be very handsome, but very singular looking, and I really enjoy that. So I change up his hair a little bit, but like, he's so cute. He's so cute. And then here's Cornelia. She's got a couple freckles too. They both have brown eyes as well, so they don't get the gray eyes of doom. And so I did want to show you the way I've been teaching the kids to skill are from these opportunity pack journals. And you have a teacher, either a playable sim or someone you hire to come teach, read this on this podium, and each book teaches different skills. So like this one is cleaning, and when the kids are done with their schoolwork, then I have them listen to Fay teaching, and they actually gain skills that way. It took me a while to discover this mod, but once I did, it really has revolutionized schools for me. I haven't really been playing schools that much recently, but now that I've been diving back into the school with Fay and them, I'm really loving this gameplay. So I need to build another school. We still only have that one room school in New Whitby, and we have, you know, we've got some more space in town and a lot more kids, so I think it's time to expand. So it's now also Fay's birthday. I think she's gonna look like the most dignified little old lady, and I'm excited about it. So I gave her something very sensible. I kept her hair because I don't think Fay wants anything fussier. So this is actually Lavinia and Forrest. They are Aldis's kids. And so you can see we kind of had to expand a little bit, and we do make poor Madeline sit in the random little desk all alone. But she's right next to Dorian, so I think she would enjoy it. Now, I haven't had a single fight here, and it's it's been a while. It's been a couple sim weeks. And yet, Dorian and Tao get into it. I mean, I was really not expecting this from Dorian. I don't know if there's a little bit of Jung feistiness coming out in maybe both of them. I mean, they both are related to the Jungs, so it is very, very possible. Fay makes Dorian stand up front with her as punishment while she teaches. But the fight doesn't hinder at all Dorian's relationship with his best friend Madeline. They are still at each other's hip all the time. It's really, really sweet. I love when my kids have best friends. It's just lovely. So it's also time for the twins' birthday. They're aging up into children. So Cornelia goes first, and I definitely need to change her hair. I mean, is this not the most gorgeous child? She is beautiful. I don't know what I was expecting from Faye's kid, but it wasn't really beautiful, and maybe I should feel bad for thinking that, but like, her 3 children are just gorgeous in very different ways from each other, and I love it. The mingling of Fay and Cedric's genetics together has been an incredible surprise, and I really love it. So with the twins aged up, we actually had to add some more desks, and we have so many kids here. It's just really lovely to see that Fay's school is really, really taking off. And we have all of the kids with Chinese heritage in town learning about their culture together from an elder in their community. I really love that for all of them. And they're all going to have such good relationships with their cousins, their second cousins. And then Tao, I was afraid, is about to die. He has a heat stroke, and I discovered that you actually fix the heat stroke by just throwing water on them. I don't know if I've had a sim pass out from heat stroke in years. And then we have another fight with Tao and Arabetta, and at this point I realized that maybe we shouldn't have been punishing Dorian. Maybe it's Tao that's the issue. So I'm sorry, Dorian. That's probably not fair at all. But they'll survive, you know? So Madeline is now aging up into a teenager. And my vision for Madeline is that she's actually going to take over the school after her mother passes. She's definitely got knowledge sim vibes to me. She really, really loves education. She's also freaking beautiful. Wow. I should have married Cedric in a long time ago. Here she is. She's the next heir to Fay's school empire, and with that, we're gonna have a couple more teens entering the house or entering the school system. So soon I'm going to have to use lot adjuster to expand their lot and build on a room for the teenagers and find a teacher for that. I don't know, maybe in his old age Cedric might want to teach. We'll see. So that's where we're gonna end off today. I'm so glad we could dive back in. I know it's been a little while, and I appreciate your patience because life has been chaotic and I've had a different virus each week from daycare. So we're doing the best we can. But I will see you next time with the prices. Bye.